Today we're gonna make some really healthy roasted veg wraps, and I'm gonna make the tortillas from scratch. So to begin, we're gonna start with the tortillas, and I'm gonna start with 1 cup of the white corn flour and 1 cup of the cuisine all-purpose flour. You could use a different type of corn flour if that's what you have, but I just chose the white for today. And we're gonna 1 cup of this. To our flour, the 2 kinds of flour, we're gonna just add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and a little pinch of salt. Just give it a little light mix so everything's combined. I'm already sticking my hands in it because I'm gonna have to knead it with my hands anyway. So this is the fun part. We're gonna melt some of the shortening and throw it in, about 1/4 cup of shortening, and water as hot as you could possibly handle the water. If you have a KitchenAid, you could always use your hook attachment, your dough attachment, and drop boiling hot water into your dough. Up to you, but we don't have one today. And we're gonna put some ruku in the water so that we not just flavor but color the tortillas themselves a nice orange color, hopefully. Okay, so we're just gonna microwave our shortening until it's melted, and we'll start. Okay, so we have our melted shortening, and I'm just going to basically take out about a teaspoon of this water and replace it with a teaspoon of the ruku. Maybe a little more. Anyway, and then we're gonna combine all of these things and try to work it into a sort of ball of dough that's kind of stiff so that we could work it into the tortillas. Basically, we're trying to work all of it in, and I left, I don't know if you see, about 1.5 tablespoons or 2 tablespoons of the liquid, just to make sure that I don't end up with a dough that's too soft. So if I need that extra tablespoon or 2 tablespoons, I'll put it, but if I don't, I'm just gonna leave it out. As you can see, it's nice and soft, easy to move around, and I'm just gonna pack it into a nice neat bowl here, and then leave it to rest for about 15 minutes. And I'm gonna cover the bowl, very important to cover the bowl, so you don't dry it out. Okay, so for the wraps, we're gonna just use the hummus as the spread or the sauce. And I'm gonna start with the cuisine canned chickpeas, and you have to drain your chickpeas. So I'm gonna start by doing that. And you wanna keep the brine or the aquafaba that was in the chickpeas, because you are gonna need a little bit of it to thin out your hummus, but you're not gonna need all. So that's why you have to separate it before. And I would suggest not to throw it away, because you should Google aquafaba. There's a lot of different uses for that, especially if you're vegan. So we're gonna start the hummus by throwing this in the food processor, and we're gonna switch it up a little bit and add some beets that I boiled for about 15 minutes so that we get a different color and a little more richness to our hummus. Okay, so we're gonna chickpeas first. Okay, we'll go with that. If I need more beets, I'll add it. I'm gonna put a splash of the chickpea water and some extra virgin olive oil, very important. Pinch of salt. And in here I have some cayenne some paprika, some black pepper, and some white pepper. I'm just gonna sprinkle it in. And a little bit of lime juice. You don't have to add all of your lime juice. This is like maybe a half of a lime worth in lime juice that I'm adding. And they say, you know, 4 cloves of garlic. I have 4 and I think 9 or 10, but that's just me. Okay, so it smells like it needs the dash of lime juice I had left. I'm gonna just add a little more of all of the liquids. And of course, when it's close to done, we'll taste for salt, so we'll know if it needs more salt or not. Spice should have been sufficient, so I don't skimp on spice. Smells really good. Okay, very nice. A nice kind of peppery undertone from all the spice. Really good. So we can set this aside and continue working on our vegetable wraps and start with the tortillas. So our tortilla dough has rested and we're just going to portion it out into some small pieces so we could press out our tortillas. Nice and soft. Really nice and soft. Okay. So put this aside. And I'm just going to try to make maybe about 12 pieces from this. And you don't want to go bigger than just the palm of your hand because that just is going to be huge and may not fit in your pan or may not press out properly. Okay, so we've portioned all of the tortilla dough into, how much did I get? 14, right. 14 pieces. They're not all the same size, but they're about the same size. So I think that works. If you notice, I don't have a taco press at all. I don't even have a pastel press home. This is how I make pastels at home too. I take a plate and I cover it in cling and a board, or you could cling another board if you don't have one that's kind of non-stick. And I just take one piece of the dough. Make sure it's kind of circular because what it's shaped like now is kind of how it comes out. I just put the plate and press. And we'll lift tortilla. So from this point you could just kind of peel it off of there and you could stack them and keep going. If you don't feel comfortable doing it with my method, you could always take a rolling pin and a board and roll it out. Just use as minimal flour as you can for dusting purposes and you should be okay. Especially if you don't want a arm and shoulder workout. So I'm going to attempt to try to cook them while I'm pressing them out. So start with the first one. Now I didn't grease the pan and I would recommend not greasing the pan because you already added fat on the inside of your tortilla dough and you don't want to make it something greasy. So just stick with a dry pan and use a spatula. Okay, so when you put it in here and you start seeing the little bubbles, you're gonna try to flip and you see that it's browned on one side. That's usually less than a minute. So these cook extremely quickly. You have to keep an eye on it. Okay, so I have a big piece of foil and some paper towel, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our cooked tortilla and just keep it in here and folded just so it stays warm and it doesn't get hard and crispy on the outside because that's not what we want. We want something that we can wrap around our veggies and eat. Now put in the next guy. There we go. Okay, so tortillas finished, hummus finished, and now we're gonna roast our vegetables so we can assemble our veggie wrap. And we're gonna start with just slightly seasoning each one of the vegetables individually. I have the eggplants in here that I sliced. I'm just gonna drizzle a little olive oil over it. It's raining really heavily right now, so if you're hearing noise, it's not my fault, it's the rain. And we should be good here. Some salt and some pepper. We want to keep it simple because we want the taste of the vegetables to really come out, not really over season everything, because a lot of the seasoning went into the hummus already. I'm just gonna put these guys, lightly oil this, not a lot, just a little, and gonna just place them in here. So just as we did the eggplant with a little bit of olive oil, salt and black pepper, we're gonna do all the veggies just like that. Just a light seasoning and grill them just the exact same way as this. Toss them, make sure they have nice grill marks, nice char, and pull them off so we can assemble the veggie wraps. Okay, so we've charred off most of our vegetables. I have the last batch of sweet peppers in, but I am way too excited and I need to assemble one and try it first. So we're gonna go with the tortilla first. Gonna just take out one of these babies. And nice big scoop of the hummus underneath. And then we're gonna go with our veg. So I just want to try to layer them in a way where every bite I get at least a little bit of each thing that I made. And then on the top, I'm gonna just do a little of these sliced radishes. So pretty with this little pink colored hummus over here. A little crumble of some feta. Now if you want to keep it vegan, you could just leave out the feta, or you could use vegan cheese. It's available almost everywhere now. So if you want to stay vegan, you could do that. But yeah, I love cheese. Okay, so here we are. Little shadow benny on the top because this is Trinidad. Oh my god. It's so good. It's soft, really good tortilla with the nice, like the zing of flavor that you get from the hummus with the hint of lime, and then all these nice char flavors from the roasted vegetables, and then of course a little salty bite from the feta. It's perfect. Perfect one bite, perfect. So a special thanks to Cuisine for sponsoring this amazing episode. Cuisine products are available in mass stores nationwide, and feel free to go pick up all of the things you need and make this amazing dish. Send me a photo if you do, and have a great day. I'm going to eat maybe 10 more tacos. Are you still filming me eating? Great.